Hey, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Q. You know who, and I'm back with another video. Thank you for kicking it with your boy Q today. Guys, I know a lot of y'all are interested in this video, and yes, I am going to share this with y'all guys, and I'm going to be honest with you, I'm getting to this. I almost didn't share this because when you talk about stuff like this, people tend to take it the wrong way, but I'm going to get into everything what I mean by that. But here's Queen back here. So this is 2023 F250, guys. I just want to let y'all know what you can expect to pay for something like this if you're interested in getting a truck like this. So with that being said, it is a little hot out here in Texas today, like almost 100 degrees. I know I'm going to be sweating. My GoPro's probably going to overheat. So I'm actually going to do a quick change of clothes. You're probably going to shoot the video from inside the truck, guys. But please stay around to the very end of this video as I can just talk about some other things besides just the cost, because a lot of y'all are going to just take away the cost of the vehicle, but there's some other stuff I feel that I can share with you all that, I don't know, maybe helpful, just been called to share with y'all, be honest with you. So anyway, yeah, it's a little windy out here, but let's go ahead and hop in the truck. All right, guys, so as I said, I did hesitate to make this video because usually when you make videos like this, people tend to get the wrong impression, take it the wrong way. One, they're just worried about the money, how much money you may have, you know, and two, it may come off as bragging, depending on the individual. You know, some people may view it that way. But when I say I went to church today and I felt like I was just called to tell y'all this message, I'm just going to share this with y'all, this whole video, because, like, you know, you ever go to church and you feel like, or you pray to God or something, and you get something the next day, like it's a direct response to what you may have been asking about or thinking about. That's what happened to me at church today. So I'm gonna share this with y'all. So this is a 2023 F250 Platinum, guys. When I bought it, it had 29,500 miles on the dash, somewhere like that. So of course, if you know anything about F250, especially this being a diesel, they're pretty expensive. They are pretty pricey. And the reason I'm sharing these videos, I remember being that kid when I used to see nice cars, nice trucks go by, like, man, I want one of those. And you always wonder how much something like that costs, or what do you have to do to obtain something like that. So that's why I share this information, to give back to those who may be interested, maybe a kid watching this video, or maybe you. Now keep in mind, everybody's financial situation is going to be different. Your credit score, how much money you put down, your bank, like, it's going to be so many different factors into determining a monthly payment on a vehicle is what I'm trying to say. So to go ahead and get started here, we'll go ahead and jump into the finances of the truck. And then, like I said, guys, if you don't take away anything, please watch the whole video in its entirety after I give you guys information. A lot of y'all probably going to click off and go away, but I promise you, just kind of stay around and listen to what I have to say. The total cost of the truck was $84,790.03. I did not finance that much. I financed $80,000. So that means I put down $4,790.03 in my own cash on my own account. To be honest with you, which I didn't want to do. I was trying to avoid that. That was like my fallback saving, like, you know, for the truck, for the channel, like that cushion, you know, give myself that cushion. Like I said before, like, this is a leap of faith for me, bro. Like, this is a time for me just to do what I'm going to do. It's just me. I don't have no kids or nothing like that. So I can take that risk for myself right now. So I decided to do that. So again, I financed $80,548. The $548 is coming from gap insurance and stuff like that through my credit union. My interest rate is a 5.94%. I'm gonna be honest with you, that's the highest interest rate I ever had, guys. If you want it, my credit is in excellent condition. I have excellent credit. Currently, right now, interest rates are just through the roof. If you've been out shopping for cars or homes, you know this. It's just the state of where we are in the economy. On red, I think my interest rate was a 3.3, and then on the blue Camaro, I had a 2.8 or 2.9. So way different times, you know, but that's just the time we at, and I'm gonna do a whole video about current pricing and things like that next, or another video, but not this one. So with that, that brings my payments to, I did the math earlier, let me go pull it up, per month is $1,232.03 per month. That doesn't include insurance. It doesn't include gas or nothing like that. Insurance, if you're wondering, I pay, I think it was like $356 a month for insurance. So total in the car, let me just do the math really quick, $1,588.03 per month to afford this vehicle. So hearing that number, a lot of y'all probably went through a million different directions with that, right? Like, man, you crazy, that's way too much, interest rate is too high. A million different things, right? I'm gonna tell you that, and I get it, I understand, trust me. When I say this is a leap of faith, this is a big time leap of faith. And second thing I say to that is, people tend to tell people when it's a good time to buy, a good time to do this, a good time to do that. Guys, everybody's life is different. Everybody's situation is different. There's not one piece of puzzle that's gonna fit everybody's life. So the best time to buy anything, is going to be when it's the best time to buy for you. I know many people who have bought homes, new cars right now. So it has to make sense for you personally. So as long as it makes sense for you personally, that is okay. We tend to kind of put everybody in the box and say, don't buy. If it's the right time for you to buy, and I mean, that means car, house, whatever the case be, take a trip, you know when it's time for you, do what's best for you. I always say that. Now, the second thing with that is, guys, I'm not rich at all. And just to give y'all some backstory here to me, guys, you met me 13 years ago. I was sleeping in a weight room, like a weight room. I was coaching at a university, and I couldn't afford to rent. I had a apartment back here in Dallas when I was in a relationship, and then I was down in Houston, and I couldn't afford to rent for my own apartment because I had to send money back up here. So I was living in a weight room, like sleeping on the weight room floor on the air mattress for like almost a year, bro. And after that, I came back to Dallas. I didn't even have a car. I used to ride the public transportation every day, and there's nothing wrong with that. I used to ride it every day to get to work, and then I upgraded, saved some money, and I got a scooter, a little bitty scooter that I used to ride. And then after that, I actually bought a motorcycle. And so I just kept going up and up. But I'm telling you guys, I was picking up everything overtime, every bit of everything, like overtime, anything I could do, I was getting my hands on, I was working. My boss said, hey, you want to work Sunday? I'm working Sunday. You feel me? So a lot of people always say, oh, it must be nice, you know, but they don't say that same thing when it must be nice when you're on a Sunday working 14 hours just to get some double overtime. You know, people don't say it must be nice to do the hard work. They always say it must be nice when you get here. Y'all remember that number I told you about in the beginning of the video, $624? That was my YouTube payment for the month last year, $624. I just told you how much it costs to afford this car, $1,500 per month. And you probably gonna say, Q, you crazy, what are you doing? When I tell you this is a leap of faith, it's a leap of faith. And at this point, I have nothing to lose. And I don't believe you lose anything, guys. You either succeed or you learn. There's no losing, right? That's just how I choose to perceive things. You see the huge gap in affordability, how I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I jumped out and I just started going. And I just knew, I'm like, God, if this is where you want me to be. And I just been getting a lot of redirection on this channel lately because I've been wanting to quit the channel and just give it up and do something else. But every time I think about quitting, always just something like comes to me, whether it be a comment from you all or a PM, or I'm out and somebody sees me at a gas station. It happened to me the other day. A guy like, bro, I love your channel. It's always that little reassurance to keep going, that you're on the right track. So I was getting a little reassurance to just keep going. So I went to church today, and I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't go to church every Sunday. I watch it online. I go in occasionally. I don't know the Bible like the back of my hand. I'm not perfect. I have made mistakes in my life, right? Nobody's perfect. I go to church, and she's talking about Psalms, and she's talking about David and how David's going to show us that God is the deliverer. And, you know, once she goes through the whole thing, at the end, David says, he's not just going to tell one person. He's going to tell the whole congregation about how God has basically changed his life, right? And that's what I'm here to tell y'all, bro. And what I'm about to tell y'all is kind of freaky. I'm not going to lie to you. I actually called my mom and told her. So again, my YouTube check was $620-some. I pay $1,500 a month on this truck. I get an email from one of my partnerships. Like a partnership is basically like if I buy a product, I show in the video, y'all use my code, I get a kickback on it, right? And a company I've been working with for like a year and a half, it's Wolfbox, my little camera thingy. And I usually get like $200 a month for them, $300 a month. Seriously, nothing more than that. And it's helpful. I'm not complaining. Like I said, I come from not having anything, not having a car, you know, barely getting by to eat, whatever. So I understand there's bigger things going on in the world, guys. We got wars going on, things like that. But this is just my testimony. I see the emails like, oh, you got a payment process. I'm like, okay. You know, I'm expecting $200 or $300. And I open the email, bro. And the email says, I'm trying to find it. The email says, great news. Your payment of $1,257.26 has been processed, bro. I get a little teary-eyed thinking about it because, like I said, the biggest check I ever got was $200 or $300. And it's just God showing me, like, I don't know why he put me on this platform. I don't know the reason for it. I really don't. I've been leaning more to it, asking him for guidance, like, what is this for? It's bigger than me. I feel like it's bigger than me. And it shows me just like, hey, you're on the right path. But I told my mom about the email, and I told her I don't really want to share this whole how much everything costs with people because people get the wrong impression. And I told her about how, she knows everything about how much I make on YouTube and, the cost of the truck. And when I told her about the email, she was like, that's a testimony. You're called to share it. You need to share it. And I still was on the question, I still was questioning it. I don't know, shout out to my mom, but she's like, she was like, and people are going to talk about you. People are not going to stand, but there will be those who do, and God called you to give it. You need to give it. I still was on the fence about it, but I went to church today, and I heard the same message again that David said he's going to share it to the congregation. And then she goes, the pastor, she goes, a lot of y'all have now got it, and y'all are pretending like y'all got it, but you don't act like y'all came from nothing or was in the pit or in the well and God pulled you up. She was like, he's giving that testimony not for you to be embarrassed, but to share it with people because you can reach people that he can't. And that just hit me like a ton of bricks, bro. And it's just crazy. Like when God talks, he talks, and you like, when you tap in and tune in with him, and I talk to God like that, tap in, tune in like he's my homeboy, right? You tap in, you tune in with him, bro. He answers every time. And like for me to hear my mom say that's a testimony you need to tell it, and I go to church and it's the same exact scenario, you need to share your testimony because God could be using you to reach people he cannot. You can't some people probably don't want to go to church or whatever the case may be. But if he using me in this truck and in a YouTube channel as a vessel to reach and change other people's lives, who am I to question that? Who am I to be scared to share that story about how much money this thing costs? If it can impact somebody's lives, right? Life. And so that's ultimately why I decided to share this video, because I was not going to share it because I didn't want people to perceive me a certain way, like I'm rich and I just made it. And I have not, guys. Like, this is a big leap of faith for me, but I am blessed. I'm blessed. I'm not complaining. And the thing about getting things, people see the material things and they look at it and God doesn't care about material things. I don't know if that's true or not, but what God does care about is the person we become. Do we become and look more like him? So through this process, if I'm becoming more, looking more like looking like the man he wants me to be, who am I to question how he does that? I do believe trials and tribulations we go through are to help us become closer to the person that God wants us to be. And we all have been in dark places. We've been in rough spots. I have been in rough spots. But I look back now, and every time in those rough spots, I always had what I needed. I never went hungry. Even though I didn't have a car, I had a bike to go to the grocery store and bicycle to the grocery store to get groceries. My GoPro died, and it literally just threw me all the way off what I was saying. Like, I really was on the road, but it is what it is, man. But anyway, guys, hopefully y'all took some away from this video more than just a monthly payment and the cost, bro. If I told you how much money I make, and you see me in the truck, you see the house, you wouldn't believe me. Like, you wouldn't believe me. And that's because we are trying to place man-made limits on God. God doesn't have a limit as what he can do. So we're using a mankind mindset when it comes to things that God has all control over. And you can't look at it like that. So I'm telling you, like, if I told you how much money I made, you'd be like, there's no way. And I really can't even explain it to you. That's the crazy part about it. I cannot explain this. It's nothing but God. And a lot of y'all probably gonna say God don't care about materialist things, but I am becoming a different person through this whole journey, through this whole process. And if he's using me as a vessel in this car, in this truck to do that, then who am I, again, to question that? But anyway, guys, that's the numbers. Comment below what y'all think. It is what it is, and you can do what you want to do with this information, whether it's helpful, whether you think it's crazy, that's fine. I can't question it. I'm just here to share it like I was told to do in church and by my mom, to share this. Like I said, we just gonna keep going. And if you see the truck here again another month, he did it again. If you see it another month, he did it for me again. I can't take the credit for this, bro. I'm just doing my work, doing my part, and meeting him halfway. So anyway, guys, that's all I got. It's your boy Q. Thank y'all for watching. I appreciate it. Catch y'all next, baby. Peace.